Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Stories with Ori. Today, I got a gentleman that if you never heard of him, then you must have been living in a cave. I got to tell you, I only just met this gentleman in the last couple of weeks and only seen him today, but I consider him a friend already. I wanted to introduce you to Kato Kaelin. Hello, Kato. Good morning.
Ori, great to see you. Nothing will come between us, but we do have room. I don't.
Well, I'm
I
waiting
wanna
for
get
the
closer
girl
to you.
that's supposed to be
I
here.
want to sit next to Ori, but I'll stay this distance.
No.
Oh my God, look who walked in. Oprah, please. Oprah,
Andy
no more
promised
room.
me to have a
Hey.
young girl for me.
Oh, believe me, you look like you're fantastic. You probably date a lot of young women.
In my head, yeah.
I kept wondering why you have a pull-out couch. No, I'm kidding. That's the good thing about me. I finally got my own place. I can afford my own couch. No more house guesting, Ori. No more house guesting. But I consider you a friend also.
Thank you,
And
Kato.
people that don't know this, before we started the show, Ori gave me a signed copy of his terrific book, which I'll be reading.
Yeah, you're going to love the book, and it's, well, everybody knows about my book. If you haven't bought it,
Accidental Gangster right here.
uh,
Oops, I found a bullet. I'm kidding.
now, most of you know Kato because of the O.J. Simpson trial. But you don't know that he's from Milwaukee. His name is Brian Kato Kaelin. He's a comedian, an actor, and a lot more. So, Kato, will you tell the people who you are today?
Well, it's funny is because Brian Kato Kaelin, that I kind of knew was sort of in the media when it became a question on Jeopardy. It became a question on The Weakest Link, some of the game shows, and it was, what's Kato's first name? Brian, I was like, oh my goodness, I made it on these shows. And about a week ago, I posted on my Instagram, maybe a month ago, it was the New York Times crossword puzzle. So it had a thing about, but that was just for Kato. But it was sort of a good feeling because I think what the O.J. Simpson case is tragic. The entire thing, two young people lost their lives. And I've always said with myself, I'm always about the light. I came from Milwaukee with a very large family. We had 7 of us, but one passed away. So we have a large family. And my parents, I just never forget, were always happy. And if they've ever had a fight, which is rare, my dad did not kiss mom to make up for it, and they would just laugh again. So I always brought up with that. So when I was stuck in this a trial, which is a very dark event, I kept trying to see what the light was. And I always kind of chase the light. No matter what, I always want to see the light and always want to bring light to everything I do.
Damn. You were in that trial lasted, how long was it?
The first one was a year and a half, not including the preliminaries. And then there was obviously a second trial, which is a year. So it was sort of I think people saw it as a soap opera, and I was the Kato, the character, but I was a real person. But people related to it as a character, and because it was on during soap opera hours, so it was the new soap where people were picking their favorite characters.
Oh, yeah. I remember well because I happened to be going to the same courthouse, different floor than you guys, different reasons.
I didn't know that. So you saw the circus that was going on.
I saw the circus. I saw the cameras from all over the world outside, all the news changers. It was something that I doubt anybody's ever going to see again.
Right.
That huge of a thing. I happen to know most of the lawyers that represented O.J.
Mm-hmm.
But
can I ask what was your you had a case going on?
yeah, I had a case. It was really funny because I got arrested. Basically, I'm the guy who robbed the L.A. City jail, a cable boxes.
The cable boxes?
Yeah.
I didn't even know they had cable.
Yeah, they confiscated them. There was about $2.5 million worth.
Wow.
There. And anyway, thank God thank God I'm here to talk to you.
Yeah. So obviously
Because when I got arrested, because when I was talking to their informant, I kept saying, we got to get my boxes out of the, and they were mine, out of the LA City jail. I said, because we got, Bannister was that cop's name. Yeah, and I kept mentioning this cop's name over the wire because I knew he had guys from the gang, but they were taking one or two and selling them on the streets for $300. I'm looking to take the whole thing. And when I got arrested, it was at a restaurant in Burbank. I walked out. My cousin, the only one. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon, 3 o'clock. And I'm putting the key in my door, and I hear cars from all around coming. No police cars. Oh. They all come in their private cars. He pulls up, takes me, cuffs me, puts me in the front seat of the car. They never put you in the front seat. I always driving, I keep my mouth shut. And next thing you know, he pulls into Griffith Park. Then he pulls on a dirt road in Griffith Park. So I said to myself, Ori, you got to say something. I says, officer, I don't know of any police precinct here.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What were they doing? Why are you in Griffith Park? Was there a concert?
He says, shut up, you fucking guinea. Wow. And right then and there, I knew the plan was to kill me, bury me in the park, go away. One cop at the scene messed up and went on the radios and said, we have Ori Spado. And Sue from the LAPD organized crime heard it and says, you get Spado down to Parker Center right now. I remember when he got the call to do that, he threw the fucking boom like that. He threw the phone down.
Wow.
He said, you're lucky fucks. When he pulled, I'll tell you, you never saw anybody so happy to be arrested and me looking when he pulled out the Parker Center. I was happy.
Wow.
I knew I was still alive.
That is a great story.
Yeah.
That is a great story. What restaurant in Burbank?
Damn, I can't even remember the name.
Because I was saying, you were there at 2:30 getting arrested, so obviously you were.
Yeah, and the bartender, the waitress, they were all cops. It was a crazy fucking day.
That is.
But I got bailed out right away.
And you went on to win the case, correct? Because you're here.
I ended up getting probation on that case because the informant was a pedophile. And they didn't want to use him against me.
Jesus, what is this story going? It's everything.
Yeah.
My God, thank God it wasn't a satellite dish. You never could have carried those. God, we have cable boxes. I can get those.
Yeah.
All right, that's a great history. And that's all in the book, I bet, right?
It's in the book.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, in the book, plus a lot more. But I'm interviewing you.
Oh, I know. I knew that. But when you get going on something like that, I have to hear how it goes.
Yeah.
But yes, I like
people love a story. Yeah. I tell you, I don't make this. You can't make this shit up.
No, getting in the front seat, forget it. You got to be shaking. It's the. You think it's the end of.
I wasn't shaking.
Yeah.
I'm not a guy. I'm not a fearful guy.
Yeah.
I'm just not that way.
Right.
I mean, I'm a realist. I know someday I'm going to die.
I'm a fearful guy.
Huh?
I still look under the bed for monsters. Mom, Dad, all right, it's Claire, go to bed. No, it's, you're talking about the trial. I always try, it's been a 30-year anniversary is coming up, 30 years. And I keep thinking to myself about, it's time goes by in a wink of an eye. And it's so true because I go, it's been 30 years and it's still certain days, I'm sure for yourself, certain days things seem like it was a week ago. But I sort of, I look at everything I do now in a timeline.
You
And
that trial was 30 years ago?
30 anniversary is coming up.
God.
I'll be on four major documentaries coming out from Netflix to Hulu, and just very compelling of just being part of that, I guess, because it is a part of history. And I kept thinking to myself, I always wanted to be. I came from Milwaukee because I wanted to get in acting. I wanted to do the whole thing of hosting acting, and I got fame backwards. I got famous for the wrong reasons, and I had nothing to prove, so people would judge me on that. You're famous for this reason. I know that, but there's nothing I can do about it. It was my blueprint of my life of how it was going to take place. But I never stopped trying to hustle. I'm always working, and I'm always doing things in the career. I didn't stop becoming. I've had my SAG card for 45 years, so I've been around.
You have.
Yeah.
Are you working on any movies
myself.
or anything right now?
Yeah, I do a show. I sold a pilot of a new show, and I got it with a company called Jupiter Entertainment. Jupiter, if you know, is probably the #1 company that has every true crime show from Discovery to Oxygen Network. And I wrote a show with a buddy of mine. It's been a friend for years called Wrong Place, Wrong Time. And it's based on other people besides myself have been in the wrong, like yourself. You'd be a story. You're at the wrong place at the wrong time. And it's pretty compelling that you look at the person that's a third wheel in any kind of crime. And it doesn't have to always be murder. It could be a bank robbery, anything. But anybody can see how your life changes by being a third wheel in a crime. And so we shot a little pilot out in New York. And I thought it was fantastic. You know it's going really well when they close the street down for you, and you have the police there while you're shooting. It's like, wow, this is pretty incredible. So we'll see what happens to that show. I'm very proud of it.
So when's that coming out?
Well, we're in the process of the pitch to networks now. So I hope I hope we have luck with it. I think it's terrific, and it's the season of selling right now, and we'll see. And of course, it's really tough because with the rain that's been happening, if people don't know, raining completely a lot here in Los Angeles. A lot of things are canceled. I was driving here in the rain, and I got pulled over by the Coast Guard. No, I'm kidding. It is raining, folks. No, but it's really tough because of everything is Zoom, and I think it's terrible because I'm a kind of person that has to be in a room. I have to be in a room and meeting people. So obviously you have to do this.
I'm the same way. And I've been out here in California close to 50 years now. I never seen the rain like that.
Yeah.
Sunday night. Oh my God. I swear it was flooding in Beverly Hills.
I was actually in Vegas during this time.
Yeah.
I was in Vegas last week. I book a little, I get hosting jobs, and I got to host a show. And I missed the rain, but it was cold. But it was a fun show because some of the performers were a lot of 90s people. So it was Paul Abdul did a show. TLC, Warren G were in the main room. I had the Heart Room. And so after the show, people came to my part of that Caesar's Palace. And DAS Technologies hired me. And I just had so much fun. And then my flights got canceled because of the rains. And when I was flying out, the teams were flying in for the Super Bowl at that time were the 49ers and the Chiefs. So it was so crowded in Vegas that I missed my flight. So they booked me a car to drive back to LA. 8-hour drive it took because of the weather. And it was
8 hours.
Which I'm glad, because I think the plane, had it not been canceled, it would have probably been like this.
Yeah.
And I get sick just like that. And you're sort of going up and down. It's like you're crop dusting. You're going up and down. So we drove back. My wife and I drove back, and as soon as I got home, I kissed the ground because it was hydroplaning on the roads. The rain was so bad, but I'm here, safe with you.
God bless you. You're here.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't make it through that rain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kato, what's in line for you for the future? What are you doing?
In my future of my life?
Yeah.
You're
still a young man.
I'm doing what I'm doing from when I moved out here. I'll never stop chasing the dream. I hope it comes. You got to catch the dream. But there's so much that's sort of happening from the hosting. I produced a show with a buddy that you can see it on my Instagram. You can also see it. We had pay-per-view events, and it was called Ice Wars. Ice Wars is hockey fights on ice. No pucks, no sticks, just fist. And we did them in Canada, which is hockey area. Then we did our first one in Wyoming, and we sold out there. It was a pay-per-view. And currently, I had to sign an NDA because it's up for sale. It is fun. It's fantastic. So that's going on. Hosting that, where I do Kato's Corner and meet the fans during the fights. My podcast itself is called 1 Degree of Scandal, which 1 Degree of Scandalous, which I'm sure you'll be on. And it's a great show that we do. And doing great numbers in that. It's YouTube, Spotify, Apple, everywhere. It's everywhere. So there's always something going on, and I'm always asked hosting things, because for 4 years I was hosting Comic-Con, and the Comic-Cons were Marvel and DC Comics, so I traveled the entire country, and then obviously COVID hit, and our thing was to have live audiences, and we would have 100,000 people coming for the weekends to shows in Chicago, Philadelphia, Nashville. We did everywhere. So I did that for 4 years. And Ori, that was probably the best time of my life.
I hear Nashville's awesome. One of my best friends lives there.
Every city I went to, obviously they put you up in the best hotels. So it's hard not to like a city because everything's taken care of. And the people that I met from all the actors of your favorite movies would be there. The funny thing is that during these Comic-Cons, I don't know if you've ever been to a Comic-Con, that people are dressed as their favorite characters. We would I was the host of the entertainment stage. So I was hosting the stage. At the last hour when we closed each show, we ended by doing Kato Roki, where we had people coming up doing songs and dressed as Spider-Man, dressed as Aquaman, and we do the Kato Roki, and it would sell it every time. And then we have the actors coming up from TV shows, Charmed. We were represented by every TV show you probably heard of. The best time of my life. Besides this.
You know, one thing I found, I think the nicest people in this country live in Nashville.
Oh yeah, well, you got to go to Wisconsin. I'm from Wisconsin. It's in the Midwest. Oh my goodness! If you go to Wisconsin, you walk in the street in Milwaukee, anywhere in the suburb, they don't even know who you are. They'll say, "Get in here, let me buy you a beer. You got to have a bratwurst." And it's like that. It's
no kidding.
A lot of people on their bucket list want to go to Lambeau Field where the Green Bay Packers play. I would say a lot of people go, "That's on my bucket list," and all that. And that was one of the things on my bucket. You know what the first thing on my bucket list was? It was to buy a bucket. No, but Lambeau is a dream. And it's one of the best times. My father has passed away, and so has my mom. But my dad, he owned 2 restaurants in Milwaukee, so we had 44. He had 44 tickets to Packer games when I grew up as a kid, and he would get his best customers, rent a bus, and take them to the Packer games. It was the
What's your father? What kind of business was your father?
Restaurants.
Restaurants.
And he had steak joints, and all the customers. Steak and beer and brandy are the big things in Wisconsin. That's what people do and drink. So I just remember growing up, and you'll see that in sports nowadays, there's no loyalty except the Packers, probably the Steelers, because it's small town and the team is owned by the people. They have stock.
No kidding.
I feel like I'm imparting knowledge and regaining wisdom.
Would you believe I've never been to Milwaukee? Probably because I can't spell it.
Milwaukee. That's like Wayne's World.
You know, I've been all around this country, and there's so many different cities that I can't remember them sometimes.
It's a clean Chicago.
Yeah.
And it's very much, honestly, the food is fantastic. You've got Italian Fest. You've got Polish Fest. You've got Irish Fest. You've got every festival in the summer. People live for the summer, obviously, because it's cold. The winter, but when they have the Lake Michigan, and from May through the end of September, it's nothing but a party.
Really?
I'm not kidding. It's fun. It's fun.
Man.
I go back twice a year. All my family's still there. And
your mom and dad still alive?
No, my mom, they're not. They passed away. But we have 6 of us, and everybody with their. I got lots of nephews and nieces, and it's always fun to go back. I love it. I love going back. I always say
You're a
to
lucky
people,
man. You know, you're a very blessed man to having a family like you have.
yeah,
And here you are in probably one of the toughest towns.
oh,
People don't understand Hollywood and how tough it is. And you are achieving things. You're getting to places you said you're a member of SAG for 40-something years.
yeah, I got my,
Yeah, but
maybe
you are
35
achieving
or something.
things that a lot of people are dreaming about. You got a couple shows now that look like it'd be picked up.
Well, we hope so. I never assume. The best policy is always be humble, because you never know what can happen. And I appreciate life because life can end, obviously, immediately. So I really do. I really love life, and I try to. I look at it. I've said this before on the shows that I look at life as a semester. Remember, a semester in college. So I look at it as a semester of college is life, and it goes by so fast. And I just love to have fun. And I'm 3 units shy of that degree. Yeah. So, I mean, I think if people kind of look at life that way, I don't think there'd be looting and all the stuff that's going on, that's craziness in the world right now. I mean, the world really is crazy.
Yeah, it's the world is crazy. Our country's a divided country.
Yeah.
You know, it's discouraging to even put on a TV today and
Yeah.
watch these pundits who call themselves news people.
Yeah. I've got a following a little bit on Twitter or X now, and I do that. And I have committed, I cannot look at it before I go to bed, because I find my fist tightening up, and it's like I can't sleep because I get so stressed out. So I have to have that hour before of doing nothing, just sort of like the government. No, I'm doing nothing.
No, our government takes more than an hour.
Yeah.
They take every hour.
So I think I got a good base of what's I think, it's funny because my best friends still to this day are people I went to high school with, and are very successful, and they've moved with incredible careers. And that I don't think many people can say that. I think
No, they
you
can't.
you have to have really kind of a good 5 good friends. And in my friend, I've got more than that have been friends for me now, like 40 or so years. And that's and obviously I get more friends throughout life, but I think that's a good
The
good
thing is,
character.
if you follow me, you'll see that I'm very much into a positive attitude.
Yeah.
And you have that. You got a positive attitude. You keep moving every day. And you just keep going.
Yeah.
And that's so important. People get despondent, depressed. They don't understand. A positive mind, it actually works and makes you feel better.
Yep.
And you know what you like, what you don't like, you stay away from what's negative.
Yeah, I say there's certain things people get upset about, like the rain and all that. It's sort of like you can't change anything about it, so you just got to say, hey, you have to go with it. You can't be, oh, it's gloomy. It's like, okay, but you can't change the weather unless you're seed clouding. No, but you can't change the weather, and I adapt very well to any situation, and I think you're the same way. I always think of how it feels to be in someone else's shoes, and how you can do just the little thing to pay it forward. Even little things of, if you're in the grocery checkout line, the guy's got 1, you got 10, yeah, get in front of me.
Yeah.
Because you know what, that guy's he's gonna have the rest of the good day. He'll turn, so it's a pay it forward. You're that way.
I stopped in the market. I tell people this, okay? I begin my day, if I'm in a drugstore or a grocery store, and you see the clerk. They got a name tag. Hi, Anna, how you doing today?
Right.
How's the family? Nobody does that to them. You know how much great you made that person feel?
All the way. I was at the bank today, and I did that, and her name was Window Closed. I'm kidding. Are we still on? Are we still on? And her sister, next window, please. I don't know what's going on. Ori.
I got to say, I don't know how long we've been talking here. This is probably
Third
the best
day.
show I ever done.
It's. I feel like your journey
And,
was
you know,
raising money. How much on the tote board? Ori, we're still at 0. Please, someone call. Make a donation. Please, it all goes to Charity. Charity, are you still here? She's dancing. She's on stage 3 next to Portia. No, it's always good because good people. You're good people, right?
Kato, you're a great guy. It's really
Great for a guy.
Huh? I say you're a great guy.
Oh, you are. And you are too, my friend. You are too.
It's really seriously. This has got to be the funniest show I ever did.
Jeez.
And it's got to go down in history as my best so far.
Oh,
So
just tell me you've done more than 5. Right?
yeah.
Oh, good. I was going to say it's their first show. It's like, Ori, please tell me you've done at least 1,000 shows, and it's the best one you've had. Oh. Well,
We got to do this again.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing tomorrow? What are you doing tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, Thursday. What day is it? Is this time sensitive?
Today's Monday. Tomorrow's Friday.
I have my wife is from China, and the New Year's coming up, so I'm doing something special for her. I think.
Yeah.
The Chinese New Year really is coming up, but we don't know exactly what. But it's their New Year, so my New Year's is December 31st. Going to the New Year's, and I got to tell you, we went to one of the worst New Year's Eve parties. It broke up at around 11. I'm kidding. Are we on? No, but I don't know what's going on. What Thursday? What are you doing? Or I don't want to say Thursday. Whatever day it is, What are you doing tomorrow?
No, I'm going. They're interviewing me at a restaurant.
Wow.
On Melrose, Frankie's restaurant.
Frankie's, okay.
Tomorrow night.
I think
So I was going to invite you and the wife over for dinner.
I remember Frankie's. I think it's Italian food, and
Yeah.
I think Frankie's has got incredible pizza. Am I right?
Right.
Well, I'll find. Can you text me all the info? I have to talk to her.
Yeah.
I always have to find out what she's.
Right.
I'm that kind
I'll
of guy.
text you the information.
Yes. So a possibility of having dinner with Ori would be terrific.
Yeah.
And and you can share some stories with her.
Oh, I'll share a lot of stories.
I love it.
I got a lot of stories.
I was mentioning before we got on there real quick. We're shooting this in Brentwood, and this is where the guest house was in Brentwood. I haven't been back. I rarely come here, but I was back in September last year because I got married in Brentwood, and where I got married was at a friend's house named David Zucker, who did all the Naked Gun movies, and he did the movies Airplane, probably the top-grossing comedy of all time. And the reason is because we're all from Wisconsin and Milwaukee, and the connection is so strong to people because of and Kelly Call, who put me on Celebrity Big Brother. He was the president of CBS. So when people, and then everybody becomes bigger because we introduce each other to another, and so we start seeing all the people from Wisconsin, and we have this great bond going on of just everybody becoming friends.
Yeah, so Leslie Nielsen was in all those movies.
Leslie Nielsen.
He was another guy who was funny. Huh?
Frank Drebin was his character. It was off the show called Police Squad, became the Naked Gun series.
I know. He used to hang around the same place I did.
Yeah.
And we were always at the bar together in Century City.
Yes, and Leslie, and during my speech at David's house, we had a pretty big group there. I thanked David during the wedding that I said, thank you so much for not inviting Nordberg. Nordberg was the character OJ plays. So, but yeah, so I have a connection. So that's when I was in Brentwood last. But I will come again on your show, and you have to come on mine.
Definitely. You got it.
Okay.
You got it. Thank you very much.
Let me see who your next guest is. Oh, they're ready.
Okay, folks, that's it for today. What do you want, Henry?
Thanks for watching Stories with Ori. Make sure to subscribe.
I forgot. See, you got me.
That's okay. That's why you have me.
You say it.
You've got to watch Stories with Ori.
Watch Stories with Ori, folks, because you never know what I'm going to come up with, who's going to be my guest. You never know. And sometimes it's just me.